Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And today we're giving our first impressions of the Fox Experiment, which is a game coming to you from Elizabeth Hargrave, Pandasaurus Games, and also Jeff Fraser. So you gotta include Jeff Fraser, because I know a lot of people just say Elizabeth Hargrave, but there was another person involved.
Yeah.
Not saying we'll always get that, because I think we're probably not great about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a roll and write game, sort of.
Yeah.
I think it kind of brings it to the next level of roll and writes, though. There's a little bit, well, there's a board and some other things you're kind of doing as well, but roll and write at the end of the day is really the category I would put it in. And this is one that I've been pretty excited about ever since it came out on Kickstarter a while ago. Did not end up backing it, because I figured usually Pandasaurus games are pretty easy to get a hold of. Because I wasn't quite sure if it would maybe be too... I feel like Pandasaurus games for me are could be a little bit too light, and then could be, I don't know, too far to the other. I don't think any of them are too heavy. But yeah, hit the right spot or maybe too light. That's what I meant to say. But the theme of kind of taking a male and female fox and bringing them into something else, I think that's a really cool theme that I don't think has really been done in too many board games. Well, specifically foxes, probably not done in maybe any board game, but like just in general, genetic-wise, that's just a very cool thing. And love to roll dice, and I would say in this one, you get to roll dice quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Which is awesome.
A lot of dice. I was pretty excited for this one as well. Obviously, foxes, adorable on this cover, and Elizabeth Hargrave, and don't know much from Jeff Fraser, sorry, but Elizabeth Hargrave did Wingspan, one of my all-time favorite games, and one that I think does strike the perfect level for what that game is. It's perfectly approachable, but just gives you so much to do in the game, and Pandasaurus, like you said, can really hit that spot. With the dinosaur games in particular, that I've enjoyed pretty much every one of them.
So they really like going back to the DNA.
Yes.
They're going back here. This could have easily been... I'm guessing they probably pitched, is there any way we can make this a dinosaur game? And she's like, probably like, nope, I wanted this. And they're like, okay, I guess it's a good game.
Okay.
Oh, spoiler. Maybe I spoiled what I thought about it, but yeah, it's pretty much in the game you're drafting a male and female fox, and then on those cards they'll have some dice that you'll get to roll, which are kind of the different genes. I just think of them as colors, but I think they all stand for different things that are kind of making it a friendlier fox. And you just get to roll certain dice, and then you kind of have some dice that are wilds that you can kind of fill in DNA, so each of the dice either has kind of a full, I don't know what you'd call it, a cell or some DNA, something in the DNA. You either have a full one, a half one, or a full and half. And you're kind of having to connect them together to complete the four different types. And then you create a new fox, which can then be potentially drafted in a future round. So that was pretty cool how you could kind of have it keep going. And then you're just kind of trying to fill those in the best you can. It's 5 total rounds. Those are kind of the big things in the game, I would say. There's some other kind of end game scoring things you can go for, some other bonuses that you can get as well. But overall, kind of the main thing of the game is getting those foxes, getting the dice related to the mama and papa fox, rolling them and creating a new fox, potentially more than one.
I really love that. Making of foxes and having them go out there for the next generation. And
you can name them.
Yep, you can name them. Gotta name them. We ended up naming like very similar names between us. They all started with T. It was pretty funny, but and bringing those back, and it's kind of weird right away, because you're like, these are my foxes, and it's like, well, no, they're not your foxes, and they don't really score you anything anymore. They just get you the dice, and then once you're done with that, then you're pretty much done with those foxes. So it is interesting that it's not like it is ongoing. It helps you create the new ones, which helps you create the new ones.
But one generation doesn't necessarily.
So then pass on, which I think thematically works pretty well. I just love that. And at its core, it is just rolling a ton of dice and filling in those symbols, which is pretty simple. But they do.
Unless you're me.
Yes.
Well, I filled them in just fine.
You fill them in just fine. But yeah, then you do gain tokens, which can get you upgrades, which I think all those upgrades seem pretty good, either getting points at the end of the game or getting more foxes, which I think is probably the best thing to get because you do get to use all your dice again for your second fox. So it's not just like, oh, am I going to split them? When I was reading the rules, I'm like, you're not getting that many dice. Is it even helpful to get more? But then they're like, no, you reuse all the ones that you have. So that's just really fun to have like multiple rounds, like getting 3 foxes in one round and just rolling them again, and satisfying those scoring cards, trying to get certain symbols on the foxes, possibly being able to fill out an entire one of those cards in one round is just super satisfying, I think.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And yeah, one of the mistakes I was making was when you do have multiple fox, kind of at the end of each round, whether you have one or multiple, you get, like you said, those tokens. But then if you have multiple, you have to take the highest of each of the 4 traits.
Yes.
And I was just taking all the tokens, which kind of messed up the game a little bit, but it made me feel better because at first I was thinking, well, it was pretty late in the game, so it kind of messed up our play, but I could still see kind of based on yours and stuff, and I think overall, I don't know if it changed it that much for me, that significantly, but it could have definitely changed a lot of things with the game.
Because then you didn't really do anything with it in the final round, and then we end up kind of about the same.
Yeah.
In that aspect. So
yeah.
I think it probably worked itself out.
Yeah, but I was actually thankful that it was not the way I was thinking it was, because I was thinking, oh, I'm going to fill up my board every single time with this way, but no, I really liked that you pick the highest one from each of your foxes that you make, as opposed to just taking all of the tokens. I think that's kind of cool too, because then you could potentially, if you are rolling multiple times, you could have the blue trait or whatever be high the one time, and then the pink another time. I think that works out really well. But yeah, for first impression, I would be coming in at probably at 9.25 to 9.5. I really like this one quite a bit. It was a lot of fun, and I really look forward to playing it a lot more.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm a little lower. I'm at an 8.5 here. I really enjoy it, but I still feel like we did fill out a lot of that board.
We did.
I think that, at least, not saying that we know the best way to do it, but I feel like I probably will kind of fall into a certain order that I am going to try to fill out those and try to get a green die maybe pretty early, as well as getting another fox to go with. But depending on what cards you get, it could mix it up. But I feel like I don't know how different it's going to feel from game to game. It usually doesn't bother me that much, though, so I think I will be able to enjoy this one quite a bit for quite a while.
Yeah, I would agree. And probably the biggest downfall for me is I felt like maybe it could go on a little long. Once you start, if everyone's doing multiple foxes and stuff, it could feel like it's going on a little long towards the end. I think it feels like it's all simultaneous, which is good. But yeah, it felt like it was about the right pace for the first few rounds, and then we got to where we were doing multiple foxes, and that's where it felt like it wasn't like a bad thing, but it just felt longer then, I would say. But otherwise, it was really solid in my opinion.
Yeah, we played with the AI as well for a 2-player game and put that in there.
A little bit
if we played it right, I think it was pretty easy to implement. So.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. But otherwise, you can check out the components of this game. There's a lot of good stuff, so you can check out our unboxing video to look at that. But otherwise, we hope to see you on that video. And as always, don't forget to
keep on nibbling
on our content.